Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about one of the best pieces out of my entire Star Wars collection, and that is my screen-accurate Jango Fett helmet from Minutefett himself. We're going to get an up-close look at this helmet, get a lot of looks at the details about what makes this helmet so special. I would like you to keep in mind that I have damaged this helmet just over a little bit of time from trooping, from wear and tear, so if you do think you see anything wrong specifically with this helmet, I will be pointing out the damages just to make sure that that doesn't reflect the maker who made this helmet, but other than that, this thing is in otherwise really solid shape. I've gotten a lot of life out of it. Let's talk about it. Jango Fett has been one of the more challenging characters to bring to life in a screen-accurate manner, because the costume changes on screen, and on top of that, the actual character does as well. The problem with Jango Fett is he's actually an extremely hard character to bring to life because he's a CGI model for most of Attack of the Clones. And with that, you're going to get a lot of really wonky things about the character of Jango Fett. The coloring on his helmet is going to change, the coloring on his flight suit changes, and there are multiple different iterations. Even in the promo pictures behind the scenes, we get a lot of different versions of Jango Fett. Interestingly enough, there's one scene, it's really wonky, where the rangefinder on Jango Fett's helmet, for whatever reason, just goes backwards on his head. And that's not physically possible on this helmet or really any screen-accurate helmet. So when creating a screen-accurate helmet like this helmet does, there are only a few physical props that you can ever actually get reference to, and I do believe that Minutefett did an excellent job at this. Same with Darth Vader and so many other helmets. A lot of people, when they think of Jango Fett's helmet, only see just straight up blue on the face. And the problem is, it's not one solid color. That's very rarely ever the case when it comes to prop making. The very front of the mask has a lighter blue section, and then the cheeks have a very, very specific darker blue. Now, this is obviously not always easy to tell on screen because most people aren't spending the time looking for details like this to begin with. The stock is also the same dark blue that we see on the cheeks, or at least I think pretty close to it, and it's got two black stripes that go around pretty much the entirety of the helmet. As of right now, my rangefinder on this thing doesn't move. I would love to put that in as a functional piece, but I have not installed that yet. It's an expensive and kind of an annoying process to go through, but in the future, it's one that I would definitely like to pursue. Another screen-accurate detail that I always look for on the Jango Fett helmet is that if the actual T-visor is straight or it's a little curved, because the screen-accurate helmets are not perfect. They very rarely ever are. What's also interesting about the T-visor is you can tell it's a very minor detail, but the visor never, for whatever reason, on a lot of Mandalorian helmets, Din Djarin included, never goes straight across the bottom. It's got this vented section on the back of the helmet, and for Boba Fett, I thought there was some type of calculator or circuit board or something back there. I really don't know much about that helmet, but all I know is that this has got a nice, lovely vented section. Does it have anything practical towards actually wearing the helmet? I highly doubt it, but maybe it's breathability. That's nice, I guess. It's something. One of the most interesting parts of the Jango Fett helmet, and I don't know if this has ever been actually truly confirmed, but I've heard it from multiple different sources, that on the right cheek of the Jango Fett helmet there is a small little indent, right where on Boba Fett's helmet there's a small little greebly. I was told that during the production of Attack of the Clones they had messed around with potentially putting some type of greebly or something there, and then just decided to leave it out completely. But you can still see the mark there, and that's on a majority of the screen-accurate helmets, and it's actually on the physically used prop. So it's a very cool detail that a lot of Jango Fett helmets that claim to be screen-accurate don't actually include. This helmet also is a little bit larger than the Boba Fett helmet, which I never thought would actually be the case, but for whatever reason I can fit into this helmet, and I cannot fit my head into a Boba Fett helmet. I don't know why, but it fits no problem just like that. When it comes to wearing this helmet, I actually love it because its visibility compared to Darth Vader is amazing. Now, a lot of people probably wouldn't think that, but with Darth Vader, you have two very foggy goggles that are just right up in your face. With this, you've got a lot more range of motion than you think you would. Even though your large visibility isn't really that anything impressive, you can still kind of see a good amount through this helmet. There is no screen on the rangefinder because this is a screen-accurate prop, and obviously when they make these helmets, there's not really much purpose to making a screen on a physical prop like that you will never end up seeing. And so while the helmet itself does not have a pretty inside like you would see on a lot of Black Series helmets, this is unfortunately how a lot of these Hollywood props end up looking. But what's amazing about this helmet is I got young Boba Fett to sign the inside of the helmet, and he left me a cool little message that I absolutely, it's so freaking cool. It is absolutely my goal to get Tamora Morrison's signature on this as well. I love the character of Jango Fett, so no duh. But out of all the Star Wars actors that I've heard countless stories about people getting autographs and meetings from, Tamora Morrison has been a standout every single time. So with that being said, that's the Jango Fett helmet. I'm going to do a deep dive on the costume itself here in a second. I just need somebody to help me get actually suited up. Costume is a lot more complicated than it ever should be, but it looks incredibly cool, and I've also lost 30 pounds since the last time I put it on, so I'm really interested to see how it looks. I used to get a lot of comments about Jango's cake and what he's got back there, so I'm sorry guys, I've lost a lot of weight. I don't know if it's going to be there anymore. We'll find out. Regardless, you can check out this helmet and so many other screen-accurate pieces that Minutefett has on his Instagram. I will link it down in the description below. Do not hesitate to check this guy out because he has a lot of really great work, and I've gotten a lot of amazing life out of this helmet.